Robot combat is an exciting sport that combines engineering with high-intensity action. While the sport may seem overwhelming, it gives builders many skills that can be applied to the world outside of the arena and the workshop. With Robot Combat spanning nearly 3 decades, it has offered thousands of people a fun and challenging experience.
New from Comedy Central, BattleBots is the name of the show, and it features heavyweight robots in contest of utter destruction. These robots are made and operated by interesting people.
The origins of Robot Combat date back to the late 80s in a series of events called Critter Crunch, held in Denver, Colorado. It would inspire several events to pop up in the following years. One of the most significant events was Robot Wars. Held in San Francisco, the events featured competitions between robots of different weight classes. While they were primitive by today's standards, the idea of fighting robots got worldwide exposure. A company in the UK would buy the rights to Robot Wars and create a show with the same name, which would keep the sport going overseas.
I saw a segment on the Next Step television show in 1994 about Robot Wars in San Francisco, and spent the next year building a robot, and in 1995 me and 2 friends drove to San Francisco and competed.
Meanwhile, several competitors from the original Robot Wars created BattleBots, which would air on Comedy Central for several seasons. In addition, TLC produced their own series called Robotica. While it had some combat aspects to it, the show put robots to the test with challenges that required speed and strategy. However, all 3 shows fell one after the other. But that was not the end of Robot Combat. A new chapter in its history had emerged. The Robot Fighting League was formed, which created a standardized rule set that would be adopted by events. It would also take into account the mistakes learned in years past. Robot Combat would also become a part of RoboGames and attract even more builders and spectators. This would also lead to more media coverage in the form of an hour-long special hosted by Mythbusters Grant Imahara. The special, Killer Robot, showcased select matches of the RoboGames 2011 heavyweight competition. While it didn't show all the fights and was heavily touted as filler, it did give the sport more exposure. As of today, the sport is still going strong. Events are held all around the world, with all different weight classes from 150 grams to 220 pounds.
Come up with team names that either reflect what they do, how confident they are in their chances of success, or the reverse. From team We're Gonna Die. We're Gonna Die!
Hi, I'm Julie.
And I'm Mike.
And we're from Near Chaos Robotics.
My name is Brian Gallo. I work with the University of South Florida Robotics Interest Group in Tampa, Florida.
Hello, I'm Sam McCamus from the USF Robotics Interest Group.
My name is Al Kindle. I'm the captain of Team Half-Fast Astronaut.
My name is Alex Horn. My team name is Cooking with Gas. That is entirely because when I was 15 I thought it was funny.
People from all walks of life build robots. No matter their background, these people come together to fight and help each other out with repairs. Many builders have engineering experience, and some have little to none. Some are young, and some are old. Some are rocket scientists, and some are students.
Outside of Robot Combat, I work as a mechanical engineer for a company in Atlanta, Georgia. Been doing that for the last couple of years, and I don't really see that changing anytime soon.
I currently go to Penn College of Technology, where I am enrolled in their manufacturing engineering program, which is basically the process after the mechanical engineer comes up with the design and the idea of, okay, we need 10,000 of them, figure out how to do it. I'm also a CNC machine operator for Acero Precision.
I'm a research assistant in the Reed Lab at USF. My work is on robotic rehabilitation, specifically rehabilitation for people who've had a stroke.
Aerospace machinist, and I've been a machinist for about 4 years. I really excelled, so it was awesome to be able to have a chance to learn machining, to really understand how a lot of this stuff works, and I'm making parts that go on Javelin missiles, Apache helicopters. It's awesome stuff, and I love machining.
I'm a biomedical technician. I maintain and repair medical devices that are used mostly on premature babies.
I have 2 art degrees. I have a BFA and an MFA in jewelry and metalsmithing, so I was really into the tools and the metal before I got into the robots, so I like making things. and I work as like a restoration person and a framer.
Each builder has a story as to why they started this hobby, no matter how long they've been competing.
Got into robot fighting when I first saw Robot Wars Extreme Warriors back in 2002, 2003. I really enjoyed seeing all these crazy robotic contraptions just beating the ever-living bolts out of each other.
I got invited by a friend of mine, Sam McCamus, who's on the team. He's the builder and driver of Gruff and Ziga.
I've been doing robotics since 2003. That's when I joined my high school's robotics team. And I've been doing combat robotics since 2010. I did my first competition in January of 2010.
I got into the sport back during BattleBots when it was a TV show. Saw the show on TV, went to seasons 4 and 5 as an audience member, and competed at my first major event in 2006.
And then I started when I started dating you and started coming along to robot competitions and decided I wanted my own robot instead of just watching the entire time.
Got into the sport about 5 years ago when browsing through YouTube, I happened to see fighting robots. I thought, hey, I could do that. And after a whole lot of trial and error, I did. I've been hooked ever since.
Bit about the flip out. How good is he?
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
What is he powered by?
Powered by 2 Bosch 750 motors, same as everybody else, but we've got this gigantic flipper on the front.
Combat robots coming off shapes and sizes. They represent the blood, sweat, and tears of the hard work done by builders. The robots are restricted to certain weight limits and meet the safety standards of the events. Each robot requires a removable power link, a failsafe on the transmitter, and a lock on their weapons. There are also weapon restrictions. Weapons such as liquids or projectiles aren't allowed, as well as radio jamming devices and strobe lights. Even with all these restrictions, builders have come up with a lot of amazing contraptions, from wedges to spinning weapons and everything in between.
The only semi-functional bot I have right now is a 30-pound sportsman robot called Tyrant. It's a sportsman class robot, like I said. It has detachable weapon pods, and it's in need of a lot of repairs.
Current robot I have now is a little 3-pound Beetle 8 called Mondo Bizarro. It's got a little spinning drum on the front that spins upward at 18,000 RPM. It hits robots, it flings them into the air, it rips parts off of them, and I can't wait to compete at more events and fight a lot of more robots.
A 3-pound robot, Ricola. He was a last-minute miracle. He really was. He's a beater. FingerTech has pictures of him on their Facebook page there. Whatever will go wrong, and that's what happened. But got him through safety last second. Went into a couple matches, worked on a couple things here and there, and he worked flawlessly the rest of it. He went undefeated, ended up winning first, and that was amazing.
Currently, I have 4 active robots: Phoenix, Something Else, Robo-Rooter, and Dumb Post Motorama Idea Number 1. Phoenix is a pneumatic flipper that I built a couple of years ago. Something Else is, well, something else. It's a 30-pound drum spinner. It won 3 and 2 at Motorama, which isn't bad for a new robot. Robo-Rooter is my incredibly awesome looking 3-pound that doesn't work very well. It's a horizontal spinner. It is yet to win a fight, but it looks awesome. Dumb Post Motorama Idea Number 1 is probably my favorite robot that I've ever built. What it is the drivetrain out of a 30-pound robot with a little bit of metal attached to it to give it a wedge shape so that it is actually a robot. It is stupidly fast, stupidly fun to drive, and for whatever reason, it is actually competitive.
220-pound heavyweight, Gruff. It was basically the first or second robot I started working on. It's a 220-pound heavyweight lifter robot. It's got a big flipping arm to flip the robots over or grab them. Another one I've been running for about the same amount of time is Ramvac. I built Ramvac in the middle of building Gruff and entered my first competition with Ramvac. Ramvac is just basically a simple wedge, but it can take a beating and keep on going.
Got quite the fleet right now. The two main ones I run are Nyx, a 30-pound robot with an electric lifting spike, and Algos, a 1-pound robot with a vertical spinning disc.
And then I have a 1-pounder named Klazo that's a drum bot and is actually the prototype for the kitrobots.com robots. And that's totally fun to drive. And then I also have a 30-pound sportsman called Spanky, which is a 2-wheeled bot that has a chainsaw and a circular saw and an axe that attached to it. So lots of fun, lots of destruction.
The robot on the right uses a welded steel chassis and interchangeable weapon systems. The robot on the left has an aluminum chassis and uses an electric lifting spike. Internally, the robots are quite similar. The one on the left uses 2 DeWalt drills to drive the 4 wheels it has, and the one on the right uses the exact same gear motors in low gear instead of high gear to drive 8-inch wheels at a slightly slower speed, but with enough torque that it's able to flip itself over and use its weapons like hammers. While the two machines are very different in appearance, they actually end up using most of the same components, which makes it easier to repair in the pits, as components that can be replaced in one are also usable in the other, so we don't need to keep as many different spare parts with us at any given time.
Of course, while most bots are built to win, some people build fun entries in order to please the crowd and go out in a blaze of glory. Ever since its creation, Robot Combat has served as a creative outlet for aspiring engineers and will continue to feel the need for homemade destruction for years to come.
I'd say the best part is actually the friends that I have met and friendships I've maintained over the years, people that I would never otherwise have even come in contact with.
And it was unbelievable just to know that participating in something that's so large like this, there is no hatred towards one another. There's no, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You're a part of a family, and you want to work together to move farther towards beating each other, and it makes you work more. You know, if you have a great design, you have a great design, but you want to beat that great design. And then when you're beaten, wow, it's not a great design. I have to work harder to get better, to make something better.
The biggest skill I've probably learned from building robots is how to take an idea from concept to reality. I.e., I want to make a robot with a spinny thing, to an actual robot with a spinny thing.
It's just the fun of the competition and having to basically fix things on the fly. It's a pretty unique challenge. What about you?
I like meeting all the different types of people because you get a lot of different, you get a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life in there, and that's a lot of fun. And I also like seeing a lot of the different types of solutions people come up with the different ideas of how to make things work, because you do see a lot of innovation into how to make a weapon. There's no set pieces out there that really make a great robot. It's really more testing it and trying it yourself and learning what works for you.
The destruction's not half bad either.
No, the destruction is pretty awesome.
I'd say the best part about participating is just getting to know all the other builders, getting to talk with everyone, network, and hang out at competitions.
The best part about participating is that you get to talk with a lot of your fellow robot builders. They share some tips on how they got their robots together, and you get to, you really get an adrenaline rush fighting all the other robots in the arena, and you have no idea whether or not you're going to go out alive. You have this determination to go in there and come out in one piece and come out victorious. It's really exciting.